All right. Okay. Okay. Scott. Okay. So we just organize. For some reason, I'm not going live right on Instagram. All right. Cool. I'm also live on Instagram now. How are you? And welcome to another IELTS journey with Fabi, where we talk about everything and anything IELTS test. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Fabi, and I help people prove their English level so they can study abroad, work abroad, live abroad, do anything you want to do abroad because it doesn't matter what you want to do, guys. You have to do the IELTS test. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, and if you'd like, you can start by telling me where you are watching from. I love to know where you guys are watching from. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about the main goal of the IELTS test. Again, guys, you do not want the IELTS test. You want to study abroad. You want to work abroad. You want to live abroad. You don't want the IELTS test. Okay, the IELTS test is a step for you to get there. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, cool. So, um, someone's from Colombia. Hello from Colombia. Lots of people from Colombia here. Let's see who's gonna be the winner today. Usually it's Colombia. All right, cool. So, um, I'd like you now to think, okay? Why are you here with me today? Right now. Maybe you're watching me live. Maybe you're watching me after I've gone live. Just think about it. Why? Because you saw IELTS. But you're not here because of the IELTS test. You don't want the IELTS test. Okay? You want something else. Okay? You want to live abroad. Yeah. You want to work abroad. You want to study abroad. Yeah. But is that really what you want? Think about it. Maybe if you're watching me now, just write in the comments. What do you want? What is your main goal? Recently, if you follow me, you know that I had my workshop, IELTS Booster. I run this workshop a few times a year, okay? Always with something new for you regarding the IELTS test, of course. And when I run this workshop, I ask people to answer some questions. Okay. I ask them, hey, I'd like to know more about you. Can you please just answer these questions? And people, they complete those questions. And I have really interesting questions there. So I can understand you a little bit better, right? And yes, people tell me they want the IELTS test. People tell me they want to live abroad. But what else do you think they tell me? What else do you think they tell me, guys? Yeah. They start with, I need a 6 on the IELTS test. Then they tell me, I want to do a master's abroad. And then they tell me, I want a better life for my family. That's what they tell me. Okay. So I know that you don't want the IELTS test. You want something else. You want something else. Okay. If you're ready, you can tell me why. Why are you here? Why? Why are you with me right now? Why are you watching this? Think about that. Why? One thing that is very common and lots of people want better career opportunities. Some people, they are in their country and maybe they are happy. Some people are very unhappy, okay, concerning where they are. But some people are not that happy. Some people are happy, some are not. But even the people who are happy, sometimes they want something better. And for the people who are unhappy, oh my God, anything else will work for them. Right? So just think about it. Okay, what do you want? There's a comment here. My main goal is to take the IELTS test to work at NATO. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. What do you do? What would you like to do at NATO? Tell me. Oh my God. That is so cool, guys. Yes. My course, IELTS with Fabi, started yesterday. And I had a chat with one of the students. And she told me that she wants to do a master's degree in Hungary. How cool is that? And again, guys, you think, oh God, she's going to Hungary. She needs to speak Hungarian. She needs to speak English. She needs to speak because the classes will be in English. That's why she needs the IELTS test. Look at that. How cool is that? Okay. And Colombian Army. So cool, Martinez. So cool. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah. So again, guys, so that's what you want. Okay. So let's go back to what I was saying before. So if you are in a job that you're not enjoying very much, okay, that is your motivation. Okay. But again, I'm here today to tell you, if you are not very happy with your job and you want opportunities abroad, you will need the IELTS test. You will need the IELTS test. Okay. Now, let's think about a different scenario. Okay. You want to keep on studying. Okay. You want to keep on studying. And maybe you went to university in your own country. You went to university in your own country. And then guess what? You want to do a master's degree. How cool is that? You want to do a master's degree. And then you want to do a master's degree. And then for some reason, maybe you don't find what you want in your city, or maybe even in your country. Or maybe you had a good experience at uni, but you want a better experience, a different experience. So, what are you going to do? You will probably consider doing a master's degree in another country. That's what you're probably going to consider. Okay. Maybe because, and again, it goes back to job opportunities, professions. Oh, maybe if I do a master's degree in another country, I might have opportunities in that country. Or I can come back to my country and have even better opportunities. And you actually can do a master's degree basically all over the world, because in most universities, English lessons are taught in English. Mm-hmm. Lessons are taught in English, guys. Like I just said, recently I helped a student. Oh, someone say hi, hello, hi on YouTube. So people, so I've helped people. I've helped people who speak Spanish go to Italy to do a master's degree, but the classes are in English. So I help them with the IELTS test. Mm-hmm. I help them with the IELTS test. And then, like I said before, I have a student who's going to Hungary to do a master's degree. I've helped people go to Germany. So again, you want a better position in your job. You want a better education. You will go to another country and you will achieve that. So I'm a great example. When I was 21, I moved to the United States to study. Yeah, I was an au pair. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And my family paid for me to go to school. I didn't have money to pay. It was too expensive. But my host family paid for me to go to school. And that was great. And at the time, I needed to do the TOEFL exam at the time. Okay. And then I decided to come to Australia, study a little bit more. And then I had the opportunity to become a resident in Australia. What did I have to do? The IELTS test. So, again, what did I want? I had been living in Australia for about 2 years when I had the opportunity to apply for my residency. Okay, so I had been here for 2 years. And when I was in Brazil, it was pretty cool. I love Brazil. But when it came to job opportunities, I wasn't very happy, okay, with job opportunities in Brazil. And when I was teaching English there, I had, I don't know, 15, 20 students, and they were all from Brazil. But when I came to Australia, when I started teaching English here, guess what? I had a class with 15 students, and they were all from different countries. And I still find it amazing. I've been teaching English in Brisbane for 12 years now. 13 years now. And I still love the fact that I have students from all over the world. So when the opportunity to become a resident in Australia arrived, I was like, I'm going to take it because I really like working here. I really do. And that's why. And now I have my online course. At the moment in my course, I have people from Mexico, Ecuador, Peru that I can think of. Colombia, of course, let's be from Colombia. Where else? I've had some students from Italy. What else? That's all I can think about now. From Costa Rica, Dominican Republic. That is so cool. That is so cool. Okay. So again, but to achieve that, what did I need? The IELTS test. Okay. So today here we are talking about your objectives. We're talking about your dreams, and everything goes back to the IELTS test. Okay. And guys, I don't know if you joined me last Saturday. For me, it was Friday for you guys. I don't know if you joined me, but one of my former students, Hector, he joined us and he told you guys a little bit about his journey. Okay. And the one thing, he's a citizen now. Oh my God. I helped him get his 7 in writing, 3 years ago? He's a citizen already. Oh my God. He's a citizen. That's so cool. Because of the IELTS test. Look at that. Look at that. If his interview is not available, it will be available here soon. Okay. And it's all about the IELTS test. Okay, guys. So let's talk a bit. Hello. Some people are saying hello. Hello. All right. Okay. So let me just share with you some other things that I would like to get you to think about. So I think that today this live is more for you to think about, what do you want? Okay. What do you want? What are your expectations? Okay. So people who are thinking about studying abroad. Okay. What do you want to study abroad? Okay. One of the reasons, because maybe there are better universities abroad. Maybe your country is pretty good, but maybe there is a topic that you want to study that you can find in your own country. So that's a possibility. Okay. And what can you do? Go ahead and study abroad. Scholarships. I've helped so many people get scholarships. But what do you need to get a scholarship? What is it? What is it? Yes, the IELTS test. Okay. If you want a scholarship abroad, you need the IELTS test. How many people do everything they have to do? They get all the documents, they get transcripts, they get their scores, they get letters of recommendation, and they send everything to the university. And then the university says, where's your IELTS score? And you say, I'm here to tell you, if you're even thinking about studying abroad, you have to start studying for the IELTS test now. That's what you have to do. Consider it. That's why I'm here. I'm here to share information about the IELTS test. I'm here to tell you how to do things. I'm here to tell you to study the right way. I'm here to listen to you, just like Martinez just said. I want to work at NATO. I'm sure you have to do the IELTS test at some point. I'm sure. Okay, so what if he really wants that goal, if he really wants the dream, what is he going to do? Start studying for the IELTS test. All right. Okay. So if you are thinking about improving your qualifications and career prospects, all right. If you want, maybe just to study with people from all over the world. If you're thinking about that, if you're thinking about studying abroad, okay, you will need the IELTS test. And if you're thinking about studying abroad, you need the academic IELTS. Remember, we have 2 types of IELTS tests. To do this, you will need the academic one. All right, you need the academic one. Cool. Now, for the people who like to work abroad, Okay. Maybe you finish uni and you're ready. Okay. You just want to work abroad. You don't want to study anymore. You studied enough. Now you just want to work abroad. Okay. There are lots of work visas available. Okay. Here in Australia, they have a list of professions that are in shortage. So, for example, engineers are always on the list because they need more engineers in Australia. Teachers, they need more teachers in Australia. So, if you get that list and you can apply for what they call the skilled visa. Okay, so that's this visa where you can prove that you are a very good engineer. There are steps, lots of things you have to do, of course, but I have helped lots of people with that. And most importantly, I've helped them get the score they needed on the IELTS test so they could achieve that. I've helped people, guys, who did all the process from their country, as for example, Brazil. They did everything from Brazil and they got their residency while still in Brazil. And then when they came to Australia, they were like Australians already. No need to study, no limit of working hours, nothing. They could work full time. Okay. So that's another possibility. So again, my job here is to tell you what you can do with the IELTS test. Your job is to decide what you like to do and go search for more information. I am not an immigration lawyer. I know the things you can do, but how to get there, I don't know how to. But one thing I know you need the IELTS test. I'm here to help you with that. Okay, so I'm just letting you know of the opportunities that you can have. And again, guys, the higher your score on the IELTS test, the more possibilities you have. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. Start early. Start early. If you need a 5, I'll help you get a 5. But what if you start today and guess what? You can get a 7. And here in Australia, depending on your score, you get more points. When you get more points, you are above lots of people. If you get 70, the person next to you has 60, you go first. Australia will prioritize you, at least Australia, and I believe Canada and other countries too. They prioritize the people who speak English well. Okay, there's a comment here. Please, I'm currently studying for my IELTS and I want to study cybersecurity engineering. I don't know if you could help me out. Okay, I can help you with the IELTS. Why don't you, are you following me on Instagram? Just go to Fabi_English on Instagram and send me a direct message. Okay. I can help you with the IELTS test, of course. Guys, I cannot help you get into university. I can help you get the score so you can go into university. Okay. If you ask me questions about immigration in different countries, sorry, I will not be able to answer. Okay, guys, I'm just here to remind you that it doesn't matter the dream that you have. You will need the IELTS test. Okay. So, AWA, just please send me a message on Instagram and we can talk there. Okay. My course just started yesterday. Maybe you can join the course if you're ready. Okay. To study for the IELTS test. All right. That's why I'm here, guys, to give you lots of information about the IELTS test. Goody, goody. Okay, cool. Then, yeah, so another reason why people want to have more opportunities abroad, a higher salary. Who doesn't want a higher salary, huh? I do. Okay, so again, but again, to apply for that job, that your dream job, let's say you have a dream job. Like my dream was to teach English in Australia. That was my dream. And it happened quite naturally. You know, I had some drawbacks. I had people telling me I could not teach English in Australia, but I did not believe them. And within a week, I got a job at a place. Okay. And I worked there for 7 years. Mm-hmm. So I've worked at lots of different places here in Brisbane, Australia. I worked at universities, I worked at language schools, so many different places, okay, because I had that dream. And what do I have to do? I had to do a certification here too, okay, to be able to study in Australia. So you check, what do I need to do? That's my dream. What do I need to do? Okay, I needed to prove my English, yeah, but the way I proved my English was through the Cambridge exam, the CPE exam, which is like an 8, 8.5 on the IELTS test. That's how I proved my English. Okay, but I also have the IELTS test. If they ask me, I also have the IELTS test. Okay, but that's what I needed to do to achieve my dream, which was to teach English here in Brisbane, Australia. And I've been doing that for 12 years now. All right. And now I'm helping people to achieve their dreams. How cool is that, huh? All right, cool. So if you want to work abroad, who is this for, right? So it's actually for the people who want to improve their careers. There are people who come to Australia to study to work for 1 or 2 years and then go back to their countries with the experience. But there are some people who come here, like me, come here to stay for 6 months and stays for 13, 14 years. Okay, it is quite personal. It is quite personal. Okay. And one thing you can do, I don't know, you can go to LinkedIn, have a look, you can start checking out jobs. Okay. But again, guys, yes, you can apply for a job here, but if you don't have the right to work in Australia, you just can't get the job. Okay. And especially here in Australia nowadays, every job ad, you have the ad, everything, and at the bottom, they always ask, what is your working conditions? Like, how much can you work? They always ask because they don't want to interview you. And then guess what happens? You can't work in Australia. So, but it's good to have a look at the opportunities, but I don't think you should apply if you are not ready. Okay. Goody, goody. Nice. Okay. Now, permanent immigration. So immigrating permanently. A lot of people are doing that too. Okay, and that's a possibility. That's a possibility. All right. So, like I said before, there are ways in which you can apply straight to your residency. Okay, you cannot apply for citizenship straight away. Okay, but you have to apply to be a resident in Australia. Yes, you can do that. And I see a lot of people. Actually, recently I helped some people, basically a family. Sometimes when the mother is studying and does the IELTS test to stay in Australia and comes with a family, I feel like I'm helping the whole family. Or the father who's an engineer and is here studying because he wants to be an engineer in Australia to give his family a better life. So recently I've been helping some people, yeah, and I met their family, and it's so cool to see that because I helped this mother get the score she needed for the IELTS test, so she could apply for a sponsorship, so she could work here. And her kids are already going to school here in Australia, and they are loving it, and they are so happy here. And I'm really, really happy I could help them with that. Again, but these people, they have been thinking about it, and the family and the mother and the father, they keep talking about it, which country, they didn't know which country to go to, and they decided to come to Australia, and they are very, very happy here. Okay, so again, what do you want? Okay, most of my students, they either want better jobs, more career opportunities, better education, and they also want to give their family a better life. Yes. And me, especially when I started teaching the IELTS test, I never really saw that. I just thought that people want class. In my case, it was so much fun teaching international students. And I like teaching English, and I was teaching international students. So cool. So for me, I just wanted to have fun, do my job, have fun, help people. But after a while that I noticed that it's not about the IELTS test. Some people, they want to be nurses in Australia. How cool is that? Chefs. Oh my God, I have so many chefs. People who are working in childcare. In Australia, they need people working childcare. There's a shortage of people who work in childcare. So imagine that. So I have helped all these people achieve their dreams, and that's pretty cool. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Okay, guys. So if you have any questions, you can pop the questions in. All right. You can pop the questions in here. Okay. So I will go in a few minutes. But before I go, I would like to give you some steps. You've been here for almost 30 minutes with me, okay, listening to me, sharing all these stories and all this information, living abroad, studying abroad, working abroad. And you need the IELTS test for that. I'm here to remind you of that, to remind you of your dreams, and to remind you that it is possible, but you have to start early. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a few steps, something for you to think about. Okay. Just something for you to think about. First, I think you should define your goal. What do you want? I want to study abroad. Cool. Nice. That's your goal. No, I want to work abroad. Okay. Cool. Define your goal, first of all. After you defined your goal, just check, how can you get there? What do you need to get there? I want to live in Canada. I want to live in the UK. I want to study in Italy. How can you get that? I don't have a lot of money. How can I do it on the cheap? Me, I didn't have money to go to the United States. The cheapest program was the au pair program. That's the one I did. That's the one I got. And it was amazing. It was cheap, but it was so good. Such a great program. Okay. So, what do you want? What are the requirements? What do you need to get there? And start checking. Is it possible for you? Can you achieve that? And then, as you are checking how to get there, you will find out that you need to do the IELTS test. And that's where I come in. You need to do the IELTS test. Do you need to do the academic or do you need the general? Which one do you need? Tell me. And then once you find out which one you need to do, what score do you need? Do you need a 5? Do you need a 6? Do you need a 7? That's where I come in. And then maybe it's time for you to make a plan, a timeline. But it doesn't matter what your plan is. The IELTS test should be your priority because I have seen people ready to apply for the scholarship. The only thing missing is the IELTS score. I have seen people being offered a sponsorship, possibility to work, and the only thing missing is the IELTS test. I don't want you to be the next person. That's why, as soon as you start thinking about this, you should start studying for the exam. Because I don't want you to lose your opportunities just because you don't have your score. All right? Goody, goody? All right, guys. So that's it for me today. Okay. It was great sharing this with you guys. And again, it's just for you to reflect on it. Okay. What is your dream? What do you want to achieve? And don't let your dreams die. Don't let your dreams die. Okay. Guys, with a plan, we can get anywhere. We can do anything with a plan and with help. Unfortunately, I cannot help you with the rules and regulations of the countries, with the universities, but I can help you with the IELTS test. That's why I'm here, to help you with the test and to help you achieve your dreams. All right. So I'm going to go now, but I'll be back on Thursday. So it's Tuesday here in Australia already. So I'll be back on Thursday with you guys to share some of the things about the IELTS test. Okay. And the best way to get in touch with me, why go? I have to go. No, I have to go. Just come back here. Guys, if you subscribe to my channel, you always get a message when I'm live. Okay. You always get a message when I'm live. You just arrived. Oh my god. So you can watch it later from the beginning. All right, guys. So I'm going to head out now, but I'll be back. I'll be back. Don't cry. I will be back. Okay. And I'll be back on Thursday around the same time, 7 a.m. Brisbane, Australia. All right. So I hope this was helpful. Uh, click like if you liked this, because if you like it, more people will also be able to see it. And leave me a message. And the best way to get in touch with me is through Instagram, I think, Fabi_English. And if you head to Instagram, you can ask me all the questions that you have about the IELTS test. All right, I'm gonna head out, but I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.